are back in Newington, Ballarat at the lovely Vic Park. I'm joined by Ashley Wiedner. We're here watching some MPO footage. It is the chase card on the final day, and boy do we have a back nine for you.
Oh, we're back on the attack in the Rat. It's going to be fantastic for this back nine.
Absolutely, and on that card we've got Matthew Noblet, Patrick Paddy Robinson, Jade Brady, and Christopher Finn. If you want to have a look at their bags, front nine, should have seen it already.
Yeah, go back, like and subscribe, watch the earlier videos.
Through the front nine, they've all had a pretty solid front nine. Matty Noblet's off to a bit of a heater start and coming back down to earth on those last couple of holes. Paddy trying to start some momentum moving into this back nine, as is Chris and Jade, as Bainey is still out to quite the lead with 7 shots over Austin, who, look, has had just about as good of a front nine as you could hope for with the 7 down,
didn't he? Yeah.
Quite ridiculous, really. So we'll see how this all shakes out in this back nine.
Looking forward to it. All right, hole 10, first hole of the back nine. We're heading down through these trees. It's a nice little backhand for most players. There is a forehand line as we zoom past the standard basket to the tournament basket, which is back here. We've got an OB trench in front of players, but also behind the basket, pretty tight as well. So you want to check up pretty fast as Paddy takes the low backhand route, rises in nicely, and check up. It has.
Geez, that flare skip was nice. Basically straight across and putting the air brakes on.
More flare than Woodstock, wasn't it?
Oh, okay.
And stopped just as abruptly.
Jade here, also trying to push that low backhand. Looks good overhand, maybe a tad inside, as he looks to have hit something a bit early. Chris here, pushing something quite low, maybe some height issues, but gets a couple of flare skips.
It looks like we got a nice little air bounce out of the hand, and it just took off and made its way around there. Maybe taking the forehand route, nice little bit of flex, hopefully.
Just doesn't quite fight out.
Didn't quite come out of it, did it? It's that weird Ballarat topography. We have a tricky little look here. Just going to ease it up.
Maybe a bit of a soft bid there, but look,
you'd take it, wouldn't you?
Absolutely. I feel like from such an awkward stance, it's basically get your par and get out. Ooh.
Jade was not listening to you, Kyle.
No, Jade was saying par? Nah. I'd prefer the birdie as Chris has a look at one. Just leaving a bit shy.
A little bit of flutter out of the hand there. It wasn't the conductor of the orchestra release we're used to from Chris there. Paddy with, well, let's face it, it's a tap in, isn't it?
Yeah, especially as he's put it together these last few holes.
Is that 4 in a row?
I think it'd be pretty close. Yeah, he's started off pretty slow on that front nine, but he's starting to put a good round together.
And he just floats that one in beautifully. And Jade should tap in here for his par also. As we move across the road to the treacherous hole 11, Kyle.
Absolutely. 98 metres. Don't let it fool you. It is a lot more difficult than just the distance, as we want to push something straight and then basically die back on itself around this corner to this tight basket where there is a painted OB line. Plenty of danger to contend with, as Paddy shows us the line on the tee-off sponsored hole. Bit ironic.
He's pushed around that corner beautifully for a nice little putt there, I'd say.
Jade looking to do similarly, just releases it a bit inside. Hopefully they're pushing actually into the trees, as it's quite open underneath, but it seems the leaves have rejected him and left him on the outside there.
They've left him alone.
They've left him high and dry.
Just wants that to push around there. And he's pushed, did he push through?
I think it was just past.
Just past, right.
Pretty similar to Paddy's line. Noble's going for the infamous backhand of his. Looking like a good line, but just a touch inside, not quite far enough up there.
I don't know.
Jade trying something sneaky here.
Yeah, it's sort of a canopy, isn't it? It's like a big umbrella, this tree, and you've got a lot of open space in between, in the middle, and if you can find a line through, you can do what Jade just did and slide it up there nicely. Maybe with something creative, which almost comes off.
Yeah, pretty good looking shots here. Paddy now with a look at the elusive birdie. Really? Maybe you can win a tee-off pin.
Oh.
That's look, this, you know, you've got to try it, don't you?
Absolutely.
Yeah, he can probably get himself a tee-off pin anyway. Chris,
No,
what is it? Looked
what are you
like
doing out
was that a Sugar Gliders Takapoo?
I think it's a Ruru.
Ruru, right?
Yes, Sugar Gliders. He was on the Australian team last year who went over to Croatia.
I got a few of those. The lovely RPM discs that we used to support the team that came in. I believe they came in 5th at the world titles there.
Absolutely.
Good on your Sugar Gliders as Jade taps in there. Matty, very eager to tap in. Give me my par, he says.
Yeah. Moving on to hole 12 here.
Yeah.
84 metres. Starting to get into this more scoreable section. There's the straight gap which the drone just flew through, or you can go the forehand gap around the outside as Paddy's going to demonstrate. Plenty of nice ground play to be had. Oh, and that is how you do it, I reckon.
Yeah, just piffing a yoni, really, isn't he? Just across the lake. Jade goes with his traditional laser beam straight down the centre, which is going to settle just rudely close to the basket.
Absolutely.
Offensively close, isn't it?
It's like, how are you not birdieing this one? It's exactly the...
I ask myself that every day of this tournament, Kyle. How did I not birdie this hole? He might be touching side.
Definitely got past that first tree, but yeah, it's going to be a bit of a longer look there. Longer, very awkward look here. Trying to contend with that low ceiling. See if you can get this up there for a look.
Bit.
Yeah. It was a good look and it looked good.
Yeah, all things considered, a pretty good run there.
Paddy, that's not bad.
Paddy's putting together quite the last few holes.
He
Only
really
the one
is.
par in this last 6 holes.
Yeah, he's sneaking up, isn't he?
Absolutely, moving into tied 4th there. It's just lofting it into the
Chris,
basket.
not a trouble in the world. Thank you very much. I'll take that. Jade will tap in that CTB. There's Matty with the bag putt. Cool, I'm not even game to do a bag putt that close to the basket, to be honest.
Oh, I don't even need a bag to miss that putt.
But if there is a bag to do that bag putt with, it's the Berg Iceberg.
Absolutely.
Heading down hole 13. This 98 metre par 3. We've got trees either side. We've got a road OB right, which probably won't come into play. And you really just want to throw something low and straight skipping up to this green here, Kyle.
Absolutely. Again, plenty of leaves on that floor, so good ground play available. Basically anything landing 80 and beyond is skipping up there into the circle. How do you demonstrate?
He's good like that, isn't he?
I feel like
Wants to miss those trees. Does not get lucky.
he just collects one of those late ones. Chris, I'm going to say probably throwing something flippy here.
Yeah.
Something very flippy on an air bounce.
Air bounce again from Chris. Disobedient disc. Not going left for him. Matty going the forehand route, and he is...
Don't go OB or something
Yeah, okay,
stupid.
that's rolling.
Speaking of disobedient discs,
Thank you. Appreciate you.
I think he's going to have a word with that one.
Yeah. Well, at least he's sounds like he's grateful to it. Possibly, ironically, Jade just floats it up there nicely to give himself a putt. Matty did go OB there.
A nice simple forehand there, just getting close to the basket. Maybe giving it a soft bit there for some redemption, but Chris also just finding himself in a bit of an awkward spot that makes the birdie slightly less attainable. Oh, that's a bit unfortunate there for
Yeah, it's an
Paddy.
unfortunate way to see that happen. Paddy just checking the chains there for regulation and tapping in his par.
Oh, a bit more of a comebacker here for Paddy than I thought. It just leaves it a bit short.
Jade taking that par.
Chris doing likewise.
So our graphics overlay guy's got a lot of confidence in Chris's putts.
Yeah, I'd say the graphics overlay guy may have watched this a couple of times and have an idea of what's coming. Hole 14, 74 metres, shortest hole on the course. Hit the gap, drain a birdie.
Hit the gap, keep it low.
It's about as simple as that.
Yeah, don't let it skip. Drain your birdie. It's one of those must-get holes, really, isn't it?
Yeah, especially here in this MPO, they want to just scuttle something down there, and
Yep.
Paddy just not quite flipping it up enough or starting it flat enough to get through there.
You can see the disappointment there from Paddy. He knows.
Yep, that.
He knows you need this one. Jade.
Well renowned for his putter approaches, Jade has no issues navigating that down to the
Again.
bullseye.
Oh, and he gets a reverse parked, and rightly so.
That is beautiful. Like right on line for 3/4 that flight. Just dropping out of the sky perfectly and look at
Landing
that.
again offensively close to the basket. As Chris throws it on that beautiful
Do it.
It's a 737 taking offline, isn't it? And says, anything you can do, I can do better, Mr. Brady.
Just a bit wide here. Might get sneaky through those branches.
There he is.
Oh my goodness. Don't try this at home, ladies and gentlemen. That is creative.
It is creative. It's trusting your disc, isn't it? It's
Possibly
going,
a little too much.
this is
but
what I bought you for. This is what you're made to do. I trust myself and I trust you. We're going to work together and push it through these trees, and it's going to pop out just there as Chris taps in for a nice birdie.
ESP Luna doing wonderful things for the Nobbles.
So we move on to hole 15. It's a par 3, 87 metres straight down, if you're good enough, to the elevated basket. New innovation here at Victoria Park. So let's see how these guys handle it. Jade, a bit inside there and fading off to the left, but he'll give himself a putt.
Really, I think that's the luxury of throwing a mid-range there, is even not quite flipping it up to flat, just also not going anywhere, so he'll still find himself
Yep.
just outside the circle. Chris has no such problem.
Hits the koozie. We're calling it a koozie? It's more of a pyramid, isn't it? Matt with that forehand again that does just fade away a little ways to the right. Paddy lining up a nice backhand.
Looking for some redemption after that last shot. Looks to have started it out on a very nice line. And find himself about 5 metres away with a good test up.
They look ready.
Jade with the angry roadie putt there. Hitting the band. Matthew! Stop it!
I spoke to him just before this putt and he was like, am I running this to the elevated basket? To which the cameraman said, yeah, why not? We're filming
Absolutely
this.
you are. It was, players got a lot out of this all weekend, and I haven't seen a better one than that. But I don't think there was anyone laying up to the elevated basket, though many players swore to themselves before their rounds that they would lay up, take their par. No one did. It's just too tempting, isn't it? And well deserved, Matty. Hold that disc up.
You're looking to finish out here. Oh, so nicely.
He really takes the name Daggers seriously, doesn't he, on that putter?
Absolutely.
And yeah,
At least we're sharing it around.
Chris just dunking it in there. Hole 16, 99 metres. Plenty of danger to be found here with water over to the left and OB road over to the right. Players looking to push this solitary tree out to the right, get under, over, around or in front. One way or another, they're hoping to skip up that upslope and give himself a birdie.
Thank you, Tommy Lee Jones. That was fantastic. It is tighter than it looks, as Chris shows us exactly what you were talking about. He might be a little short.
Yeah, possibly a bit sawn off, not quite wanting to test that tree.
I'm just saying it's a little tighter than it looks with that lake to the left. It doesn't look that dangerous on the tee, but you can get into trouble really quickly as Matty finds himself hitting that tree. To be outside the circle there. Paddy.
High and beautifully weighted, just getting it in front.
Yeah, sure. I've been shot, mate.
A nice putt there. Jade going a bit lower, looking to get more of a skip and not play with those high branches. And
Yeah.
there's a common trend around this back nine, and it's centred around being offensively close to the basket.
Yeah, it really is. Jade was taking too close a look at our logo on one of those earlier holes. I think it was hole 12, the Park sponsored hole, and just thinking, you know what, Park, that's a good idea. Paddy with the angry roadie there.
A bit frustrated there, Paddy, just really looking to string a few more of these birdies together again. More scoreable stretch of the course, so...
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lesson for newer players in the way Paddy just played that though. He had to, hit the band, unlucky, but the confidence on that second putt going in was no less than his first one, which is I know something that definitely plagues me in tournaments. Speaking of plaguing me in tournaments, here's hole 17, par 3, 103 metres. Different tee pad to the normal hole 17 here. We're going straight up the guts. We've got OB right on the road, and we've got some very, very cheeky OB at the back here. That trench you can just see that sneaks up on you really quick. Jade taking that backhand route.
Geez, that's a genuine nice one.
Turning it out a little bit, and the sneaky OB we were talking about. He will have a putt from there, though. It's a tricky putt, but it's a putt.
Absolutely. Chris... Story of the day, Flippy just not quite getting over, and I think that'll just pull up before the
tree might have saved him from going OB, yeah.
And he just getting a bit too much turn on that.
Could be in.
Flexing out nicely and should give him a look there.
Yeah, getting a good look at his sponsor there, Team Parkland. Paddy with just a slow, deliberate Paddy, finding some cabbage.
Makes no mistake on the second one there. That's a beautiful upshot.
Because I'm Paddy Robinson and you are parking yourself, deal with a disc.
Chris with a look, floating with that OB, but he gets the better of it. Not quite converting on that birdie putt. Not again, Matty. Two in a row. Not quite two in a row, but...
He's found the switch on his putter and just... switched it on. As he floats it up there, it takes so much faith in your putter, doesn't it? To just float it up there in the conditions, the wind that we had at Ballarat this day. Paddy.
Just a bit of a late release there.
And Jade, yeah, there we go. Went OB, but he manages to save his par with that confident comebacker there. And Paddy taking the bogey.
Bit of an alternate angle there behind the tree.
It's American beauty, isn't it?
Speaking of beauty, hole 18, 184 metres. Story of this hole is that lake you can see on the right hand side. Wanting to come through either this gap or the gap down further where the basket is. Most of these MPO guys with more than enough power to get there. We'll see whether they risk it for that eagle. Matty looks to have absolutely nothing to do with it.
Because I want none of that. I'm going around there, and he does a Steph Curry, just turns around and walks away, doesn't he?
That is the beauty of that line. As Jade pulls out that Horizon Cloud Breaker and gives it a good rip. I believe some calls from the crowd for that to go in, but Definitely a case of am-I's there.
Am-I's. They snuck it up there beautifully.
Chris also
Chris
looking to go
lining it up.
over. Not quite getting enough turn on it, but also pushing through those trees. So he'll find dry land.
Look, the way he's flicking them up there, you never know. You never know.
Oh, it's not that far.
Paddy.
Gets a bit too much over it. Watching it keenly to make sure that
Is this why I saw Paddy in the lake after the round? Right, okay, got ya.
yes, he threw his fabled Ballista Pro, probably favourite Ballista Pro, and had to make sure that hit dry land.
Speaking of making sure of it,
Yep, very good second shot there.
Oh, that's the
Try
right
and-
shot. Come on,
Paddy
skip up
going
or
with a
something.
worm burner. Maybe just getting a bit of cut roll.
On the run, Chris puts it up in the circle.
Almost a nutbush putt, wasn't it? Or a bus stop. Matty giving it a chance.
Close. Just didn't get the ante on it.
Yeah, really don't want to push it long. That OB behind sneaks up on you. I've heard of a couple rollaways on this hole. Jade just misses the eagle. Would have been quite the way to finish the round.
It really would. I'd like to say I finished my round that way, but I didn't. Paddy tapping that in. It's a respectable save, and Chris taking the birdie.
Oh.
And Knobs sneaking it in off the nubs there.
Absolutely. Jade.
Jade taking a birdie he's probably disappointed with. But we're not disappointed in you at all, Jade. Fortune favours the brave.
Luke Bain. With a pretty comfortable win there.
Yeah, he manages to hang on to that 7-stroke lead, doesn't he, through the back 9.
Yeah, 8 down, not to be scoffed at, but chasing on his heels. Austin with a very hot 11 down. Honestly, a little surprised it wasn't better after his 7 down around the front.
Yeah, he got a bit unlucky on a few of the last holes and snuck OB, and a few putts snuck out. But a terrifying round from Austin. Big year for him coming up, I think.
Absolutely. Blake rounding out the podium, and then we've got Jade and Tim Bowen
Never heard of him.
tied for 4th, and Paddy, Chris, and Matthew Noblet rounding out the top 8. As probably not the rounds they had in mind, but still pretty respectable. Some highlights in there.
Very respectable, yeah. Tough conditions on this day. Bit of wind going different ways, and we saw the putts, and we saw the swirling winds on the greens, and the unpredictableness of the tournament. So, rounding out a fantastic tournament. Congratulations, Bainey, and congratulations to all players. And thanks for having Parked Media on your cards.
You heard it here first.
Park it.